Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And with how dry Marvel Future Fight is at the moment, there are still things that I find new that not only change my view and impress me and surprise me, but also will hopefully do the same for you. This is a brand new thing that I didn't know existed in Marvel Future Fight, but actually does. And I gotta start off by saying that the credit does not go to me. Now, I've done some testing, but there's someone, again, I don't remember exactly the name is. I see a lot of people's names on Twitter, on Twitch, on Discord, so apologies for not remembering a lot of these players' names, but honestly, this person has not popped up in my stream more than a few times, but when they do pop up, they mention two things. They mention Jean Grey's 5th skill not actually being guard break immunity penetration, which I don't think is true, but that's okay. Let's continue on with the information. And then the second thing they said is, and this is the thing that I actually ended up testing recently, they say Fantomex can avoid Jean Grey's guard break immunity penetration. Fantomex of all characters. This guy's been forgotten. He was really cool when he came out in, towards the end of 2018 with the Deadpool Epic Quest. Of course, another speed type would be overshadowed by Deadpool. I mean, it's hard to compete with Deadpool. But Fantomex is cool. He's got self-healing. He's got Ava. He's got mind control for a couple of seconds on Fantomex misdirection. He's got all defense down that stacks and does ignore immunity for 10 seconds. So you can actually bump up his damage a lot. Don't worry. This is not a weapon hex combo video type thing, but you could do that. But more interestingly, he has a heal on his 4-star passive. You can see here it is 3%, so it's very similar to War Tiger's heal. But on top of the heal, he gets mind resistance, which is thematic to the comics, and he gets super armor for 2 seconds. Now that's going to be important here, because what the person is saying is that the person that told me about this said that if you have a character who has super armor and you give them guard break immunity, so if they have both, then they won't be caught in Jean Grey's 5th skill, that orb, that pink orb that just catches you and makes your character constantly flinch. And we're gonna prove that they're right and wrong. It's quite interesting. Also, just as an aside, Fantomex does have 65% increased damage dealt to mutant characters, which is very, very cool and also thematic to the comics. So I will say this: he's not good enough. I want to sort of stamp out the notion right now. I would personally not bet against Jean Grey. I don't think Fantomex is good enough. I think even if you build Fantomex, if you give him Gear 25, Odin's Blessings, even if you throw thousands of dollars of cash at him, I don't think he's going to be good enough with either a CTP of Destruction or a CTP of Regen. I don't think he'll be good enough to beat Jean Grey. But if he got a uniform, maybe he could be. If he got a uniform with like 30 or 40% damage reduction, and maybe some guaranteed dodge or something like that, if they really beefed up his defensive stats, he could give Jean Grey a run for her money, which would be very, very cool to kill Jean Grey with Fantomex. However, he does serve the purpose of allowing me to show you how this works. So you're going to see here, I think Fantomex is the only character in Marvel Future Fight that can actually do this, because it does work. He does ignore, he doesn't get caught in Jean Grey's sort of guard break thing on her 5th skill that every other character gets caught in no matter what. And you're going to have a lot of questions for me, rightfully so. So we're going to go ahead with this team right here. We're going to pop Fantomex in place of Nick Fury. So we've got the heal from Victorious, we've got the all attack from Victorious, and we've got Colossus. We're just trying to make sure that Fantomex can survive for as long as possible. You can see even with Victorious's 30%, he's only at 37,000. Very, very low stats for a speed type character. So this is definitely going to be difficult to show you guys. I'm not, this might not work necessarily the very first time, but I will try to show you that you're going to pop the, no, that's not the team that I want to fight. Where is the team that I want to fight? Is it, no, it's not this guy. Is it this guy, Nightmare? Okay, sure, let's try Nightmare. Let's see if this works. Now, I might have to end up slowing this down, but we're basically going to try to bait out Jean Grey's 5th skill, and then you're going to see that he's able to walk through it if he doesn't die first. Okay, here we go. So you can see, there, he died, and the purpose of that wasn't to kill Jean Grey, but the purpose was to show you that he doesn't get caught in it. So even though she casts that 5th skill, he doesn't get caught. Now here's another example. Here, see what happens here? He gets caught. See that head rocking? See that head rocking that's happening? That's the difference. Now you're gonna say, oh, but Cynicalex, Colossus doesn't have guard break immunity. Oh, but he does. he does have guard break immunity. So having a character that has guard break immunity and seeing them being guard broken and rocked back like that is an indication to me that she is penetrating or ignoring guard break immunity, but she's not doing it to Fantomex for whatever reason. Now, he also has super armor. He also does have super armor. So there must be something else going on, because both of these characters have super armor and both of these characters have guard break immunity. But then somehow Jean Grey is, you know, abusing Colossus to the point where he can't even move, but she's not doing it to Fantomex. And if you take a look at the rest of Fantomex's kit, he doesn't have anything that would give him any sort of, you know, benefit. The only thing that can avoid getting guard broken like that is if you have dodge, right? Because then you're just dodging, you're not getting hit. But maybe it's the mind resistance. Who knows? Maybe it's that 50% mind resistance. Maybe the rocking has to do with mind damage, and if you bump up your mind resistance enough, that would work. But I don't think it works because Thanos has 50% mind resistance by default, and Thanos also, you can see there, 50%, and Thanos also gets rocked back. I think his it's here. No, maybe not. I don't actually know where it is where it says that he has. I think it's just, you know what? I don't think it's listed. I think if you just go into the Marvel Universe and you look, he just has a base. Actually, you know what? It won't even show up here. But anyways, Thanos has a base 50% all resistances. So there's something else going on. There's something specific to Fantomex, because having super armor and having guard break immunity is not enough. And I think it has to do with the fact that his super armor is part of a passive that refreshes. It's sort of it's an active super armor rather than being a passive super armor, because it doesn't trigger. He doesn't have super armor by default. When he's at full health, he doesn't have super armor. He doesn't have the 5% all defense. He doesn't have the mind resist. And of course, at full health, he doesn't heal. But once his health goes below 99%, those things trigger. And I think what's happening is that the super armor is refreshing over and over and over again for those 2 seconds. And that is what is blocking Jean Grey's, you know, 5th skill from giving you that head rocking motion. It's not a stun. It's not any sort of other ability, because then you'd have other characters like War Machine who's immune to stun, or, you know, Singularity I think is immune to stun as well. I think possibly Cull Obsidian is immune to stun. These characters wouldn't experience the head rocking, and they do experience the head rocking. Yeah, he has immunity to stun. So it's not a stun, and it's not just guard break immunity, and it's not just the combination of guard break immunity and super armor. There's something specifically unique to Fantomex. And again, we come down to a situation where I'm working with, you know, I'm working with 5% of the given information. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes for why Fantomex is the only one unaffected by this, because if you look at it, they're almost exactly the same. He has super armor, all defense, and he has guard break immunity. What's the difference? I don't know. Maybe it's that he's a speed type. So if you saw before I changed to Fantomex, I actually had Nick Fury on this team, and I was testing it out with Nick. So we'll go ahead and put Nick back in here, and we're going to test the exact same team over again. In this case, he's also got guard break immunity here. And in this case, as part of the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. passive, he also has super armor and all defense. And just for kicks, he has immunity to incapacitation. I don't really think that's going to help, but it's there. He also has remove debuff in case it was a debuff. It's not a debuff, by the way. But, you know, what are we supposed to do? We really don't. I really don't know. Honestly, I have no answer for you as to why Fantomex appears to be the only character in Marvel Future Fight that is unaffected, only if you give him guard break immunity on an obelisk, by the way. If you don't give Fantomex guard break immunity on an obelisk, I don't think this works. I actually should have tested it because I had another obelisk on him before, but I didn't test it, but I don't think that is the case. So we're going to see here. Hopefully Jean Grey won't kill me with her other skills. Hopefully she will kill me with her 5th. Here we go. And you can see the same head rocking, the same sort of auto lock where Nick Fury looks like he's doing this sort of like giant, you know, he's doing this little dance here. He's kind of like juking side to side. I don't know, some Fortnite shit. But yeah, you see the head rocking there. It happens. It happens to every single character in Marvel Future Fight, I think. I mean, I haven't gone through and tested all 209 characters. Well, 207 now. But I know for sure that it happens to Colossus. It happens to Nick Fury. I know it happens to Jean Grey, Silver Surfer, Thanos, because I've seen it to happening to the metas. I've seen it happen to my characters, and I've also done it to other players' characters, regardless, 100% regardless of whether they have guard break immunity or not. It makes no difference at all. but he's completely unaffected by it. But I'll show you now in a quick little fight here that he doesn't really stand a chance against Jean Grey. Yeah, he doesn't stand a chance. So although he has a very unique advantage, I mean, he has an extremely unique advantage. He's possibly 1 out of 210, which is insane. You know, he possibly has an extremely unique advantage against Jean Grey. And if Marvel Future Fight wanted to give him a uniform and wanted to make him stronger, he could be a legitimate counter to her in PvP one-on-one. He's got healing to, you know, to catch up. And he's got 65% increased damage, so with a uniform and with enough buffs, he'll be able to one-shot her. I mean, I almost one-shotted her. If they gave him penetration on his 5th skill, well, I have penetration here, but we have to, you know, kind of hope that it triggers. Anyways, he could definitely be a counter to her, but I just want to make that clear. Right now, he's not a counter to her. I don't think it's possible, but I wanted to share this with you guys because it's really interesting. I've never seen it before, and you know, we've been dealing with Jean Grey's uniform now for over 6 months, so it took me this long to figure this out. And I'm sure there are other small gems like this of hidden information, these hidden nuggets of information that we just don't know about because I don't have the time to test every single interaction with every single character, but also because the devs are pretty silent when it comes to the way that certain abilities interact. I don't necessarily think they need to address every single character's ability for every single interaction because that's literally like tens of thousands of interactions. But with an interaction that's this popular, I think it's important for the devs to say, hey, we noticed, you know, looking at our data that we actually never look at, but taking a look at our data over here, it turns out that 97% of teams use Jean Grey when she's not banned in timeline. That's a pretty big number, 97%. Wow. And oh, would you look at that? 99% of characters die to Jean Grey's Phoenix Awaken. Huh. I wonder what's going on. Could it be overpowered? No, we don't check stats like that. 99%, that's not a real number. Now, if you told me 99% of players spent money in Marvel Future Fight, now that's a number I want to listen to. Anyways, I don't want to roast them too hard, but I'm sure if they looked at the numbers, they would realize that this is statistically the most, you know, the most killed skill in the game, i.e., the skill that kills the most characters in timeline and PvP. I would not be surprised if this was the number 1 skill. Maybe it would be Thanos' tier 3 skill because it can kill 2 at the same time, or it's like 2 back-to-back, or possibly Captain Marvel's 4th because she's a little bit easier to get than Jean Grey, but I would not be surprised at all if this was the number 1 kill skill in the game. So yeah, with the devs not saying anything, I wanted to share that information with you. Let me know what you think of Fantomex. And Bamf Breakers, are you happy that your boy is back in the spotlight for just a hot 15 seconds? Hit me up. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.